Hello and thanks again for joining me today. The feels like heat, or heat index, has continued to top 100 degrees this week. We've also dealt with excessive heat, severe thunderstorms, and flash flooding watches. In just a few months, we went from having none of our areas in the county impacted by drought to all of Montgomery County experiencing abnormally dry conditions. More than half the county is in a moderate drought, and more than 5% is in severe drought. This prolonged heat and dry weather means our farmers are experiencing a lack of rain that is impacting crops grown here. Corn crops in particular are reaching a critical stage and need prolonged rain to help bring about the harvest that they need. This is not just a problem for our farmers, but for all those who rely on their produce for food. I've mentioned this a few times over the past several weeks, but I want to continue reminding residents to take precautions and look after their neighbors, family, and friends, especially older adults and those with medical conditions. Stay on top of the threats by signing up for our text alerts through Alert Montgomery. And I would also be remiss not to mention once again that this extreme weather, such as the prolonged heat and drought, continues to be the consequences of our inaction on climate change. But this, what we're seeing now, is not the worst of it. If you follow the news or any of the reports by people who continue to monitor the impacts, you can see that we're not at all at the peak. This will not be the plateau. Instead, most likely scenarios foresee more temperature rise, stronger storms, and more rapidly rising sea levels that will exceed the previous projections. Years of deliberately deceptive messaging from the fossil fuel industry served to confuse the public about the dangers of rising carbon emissions and a warming planet. Their lies had some believing that climate change was just a hoax, but we're seeing the true impact of this every day in our lives. Those facts do not pretend a reversal of these trends anytime soon. We do need to reverse course on our processes that drive climate change. We're taking this with a sense of urgency, and I hope that you'll examine what you can contribute to these efforts. This could be as simple as reducing energy consumption, supporting local sustainable agriculture, or advocating for climate-friendly policies. Because the government cannot do it alone, this requires an all-in approach. I also want to extend my gratitude to all our county employees who do not have the professional luxury of working in an air-conditioned environment. Thousands of our employees, including our first responders, are dealing with this weather daily as they continue to serve our residents and communities. Department leaders and supervisors ensure that they care for the health and welfare of employees who work in this heat. From fighting fires to taking care of those who are unhoused to responding to road maintenance issues, our employees, contractors, and community partners continue to get the job done in Montgomery County. Around the country this week, there's been a lot of discussion over toning down political rhetoric following the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. Any form of political violence is unacceptable, regardless of who is directing it or who it's directed at. I have never seen this level of violent rhetoric in my life, and it's stunning on how out of bounds things have gotten. Beyond the rhetoric, it's striking that the national conversation about this mass shooting hasn't focused on the weapon used or the mental health of the suspected shooter. However, we need to ensure that all our political discussions, no matter what level of government or venue, have to be based on facts, not lies, and with transparency. Soundbites meant to rile up the masses have not served us well. I hope we can replace the vitriol with arguments that are accurate and based in data. If politicians focused more on informing the public and less on inflaming us, we'd be much better off. This week we welcomed Chief Corey Smedley to the Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service. He is the Fire and Rescue Service's first Black chief. I've lived in this county most of my life and have clear memories of the blatant and systemic racism that guided our government for a long time. Over the past 5 decades, we've changed a lot to become one of the most diverse jurisdictions in this nation, if not the world. While Chief Smedley is now a trailblazing figure for our county and our fire service, let's remember that it should not have taken this long for this moment to come about. I didn't know Corey before this process to fill the vacancy. Still, from our first meeting to his confirmation process, he's communicated to me, our county council, our leadership in both our career and volunteer fire departments, what kind of person he is. He's a leader with a vision for MCFRS and the fire and EMS profession in general, and he's intent on moving forward. Just a few days in, our new chief is taking on challenges and is getting to know the MCFRS team leadership. He sees how our society is changing, and with more emphasis on community, health, and rescue operations rather than simply putting out fires. He recognizes that we have the means and will to make the best decisions for MCFRS and our community. Montgomery County will benefit from Chief Smedley at the helm. Parents can avoid headaches and long lines in August and September by scheduling their child's vaccination appointments in preparation for the upcoming school year. Free vaccinations will be available for school-aged children, pre-K through high school, at several locations throughout the county until the end of September. Maryland law requires students to be vaccinated against various diseases in order to attend school anywhere in Maryland. They include protection against tetanus, meningitis, and chickenpox. The Department of Health and Human Services provides free vaccinations for school-aged children who are missing any of the required immunizations before the beginning of each new school year. The free vaccinations will be available through the end of September. Vaccine requirements also apply to young children too young for school attending, but if they're attending licensed child care facilities or early learning programs, the rules apply. Booking an appointment with a family physician now or getting vaccinated at one of our clinic locations is an excellent way to start the school year off right. Appointments are preferred at our clinics, but walk-ins are still accepted. You can make an appointment and find more information about vaccine requirements on the Immunization program's website, or you can call the program at 240-777-1050. This week, the Bethesda community was briefed about how the Montgomery County Police Department's drone response can improve public safety. In the years since we launched the drone program in downtown Silver Spring, we've seen it improve our emergency response capabilities by getting eyes on the scene faster than we can get an officer there. The drones have helped us track down wanted suspects trying to evade police and has helped thwart car thefts. Leaning into technology to help respond to crime has been critical when our resources have been stretched as thin as they are because of officer shortages. I'm glad we've expanded the budget to use these tools in more locations like Wheaton. We anticipate having the program running soon in Up County and Bethesda as well. One thing the drone as first responder does not do is proactively patrol. So you won't see a drone flying around Bethesda on patrol. The drones in this program are used only to respond to a call. Our online data dashboard detailing the program shows that the drone is most deployed in theft and robbery cases. The second highest number of calls are for suspicious persons or vehicles. You can learn more about the program and review the data shared with the public through the dashboard by visiting Montgomery County Police Department's website and looking for the Drone as First Responder program in the How Do I section. The heat waves we suffered this summer are a good opportunity to highlight Maryland Governor Wes Moore's Climate Action Directive. In June, he signed an executive order with significant environmental implications. I want to focus on one aspect of that plan that deserves more attention. The governor has ordered the Maryland Department of Environment to develop zero-emission heating equipment standards this year. It will ensure that all new HVAC systems in Maryland will soon be heat pumps, delivering highly efficient heating and cooling. In Montgomery County, we're already focused on reducing greenhouse gas emissions from commercial buildings as well. I've been asking our community to go green. However, if we do not have public buy-in and get every family to reduce their carbon footprint, we will not reach our climate goals in the county. The governor's order to require that heat pumps be used to replace outdated HVAC systems is essential to any strategy to make homes more resilient to extreme heat. Heat pumps use 18% less electricity than central air conditioners do, providing life-saving cooling amid peak summer heat at a lower cost. Upgrading to a heat pump can save families an average of $740 a year on their utility bills, with a further $380 in savings when residents upgrade to a heat pump for water heating. These energy-saving heat pumps could offer financial relief for low-income households who spend 6 times as much of their annual income on energy bills as Marylanders. Recently, Maryland lawmakers opened the door to state-level funding to help more low-income families and those living in multifamily housing pay for heat pump upgrades. Montgomery County Building and Energy Performance Standards will encourage the adoption of heat pumps in more significant buildings. This order will not require immediate wholesale changes. Still, it will prepare the business community and retailers for a future in which everyone expects home heat pumps to improve energy efficiency. You can learn more about the benefit of heat pumps by visiting mygreenmontgomery.org and searching heat pump. So that's a wrap for today. I hope you have a great week. I hope it's a cooler week, and I look forward to being back next week.